Hello there, this is Caesar on Toast and you're watching episode 13 of my Better Minecraft modded Minecraft series. In today's episode we're going to start out by doing some building, and I'm going to be building with bricks for the first time, I think ever. I really don't generally use bricks in builds because they are quite striking visually. And I think you really need to find the right kind of building to make them work. So what I'm doing is I'm just going around our swamp, and I've got our vein miner shovel, which I can then mine a lot of, a lot of dirt apparently, but also a lot of clay at the same time. So we're mainly looking for clay here, and I completely misclicked there. So I will patch up this hole. Good as new. You'll also notice as we come into base, I've done a little bit of terraforming around a swamp. I've taken the liberty of removing a lot of the water in case we want to put a road out here. And we've also relocated our sugarcane rather than running all the way around the island, or I guess it's a peninsula now. We've got our sugarcane field here with the lily pad, so we don't have any of the item blocks falling into the water. So this is much more convenient. And yeah, grass in this mod pack doesn't grow if you have anything on top of it, like torches, but also sugarcane counts there too. So I need to just leave this empty for a little bit longer to get the grass to grow and get the sort of aesthetic I was going for here. You'll also notice that I've once again cleared the land at the top of our hill here, and this is where the final build of our island is going to go. And what we're going to be building today are a pair of Oast houses. And these are something that you might have come across before. I certainly didn't know what they were until a couple of years ago. Essentially an old grain store, but they're going to be just giving us a little bit of height on the island. I think it's a really interesting looking building. So hopefully I'm going to be able to accurately reflect how they look in real life. But first things first, we got to cook up our clay to make some bricks for this build. So let's go ahead and drop that into our furnace. Now what I want to know here is whether I can use the, 5 seconds for a firing from charm. Copper kiln, 5 seconds, and then 10 seconds for smelting. So it looks like I want to get one of these kilns from charm, which of course you need some bricks to start off with. So let's see, do we have any of those in our system already? No. So we do want to just get an initial batch of bricks to go in there. So we're going to need about 16 in total. I'm going to pop 8 of these in this furnace and 8 in the other furnace. Okay, got my 4 bricks. Now let's go ahead and make the kiln. Nice. And I'm going to do a little bit of an auto smelter setup here, right where I'm going to be building. Cool. So that's going to start making us bricks. Once we get enough of them, we're going to go, and that's so fast. That's awesome. We're going to go ahead and make another one of these kilns. So we're doing that all in parallel. Oh, no, you don't. Why are you there? I thought I had a thing to protect me from mob spawning now. Oh, what's going on? So I placed down the emerald Magnum torch last time, and according to the tooltip, prevents mob spawns in a huge area. Creature, cuboid, creature. Is creature an enemy or not? I need to verify this because this was an expensive block. So I want the diamond Magnum torch. Oops. So that's why I'm getting attacked in my own base now. Oh, I thought I was past all this. No. Okay. Bail out. Let's see. Can we just go ahead and craft one of these straight away? Yep. Okay. And emerald Magnum torch, you can take an exit from my base. I think it looked better on the slab. So let's go ahead and place one here. So this in theory should prevent mob spawns for a horizontal range of 64 blocks. So that goes all the way around the peninsula, and a vertical range of 32. So we don't have anything really high or really low here. So I think that covers us. We'll just need to destroy the existing mobs that have come onto my island. Yeah, like you. And you. Okay, now I feel safe. Right. So I was going to go ahead and make a few more of these kilns, and we can tear these down straight away afterwards. So let's just go ahead and make this, even if it looks sort of ugly. There we go. 4 kilns working in tandem to give us lots and lots of bricks. So we will be good to go in no time at all. And while that's going, I'm just going to go back out into the swamp and try and find some more clay. Now we've got some blocks to start off with. We need to choose the scale and the location of these. So they're sort of round houses with pointy tops. Imagine in an old cartoon you'd get the kid sitting in the corner of the classroom with the white dunce cap on. I'm not sure if you're allowed to say that anymore, but it would be akin to a little round house with one of those hats on, but the hat is made out of tiles, I guess. And I actually do quite like the texture of these stone bricks here. They look a lot more rugged and industrial. I think they're tied in nicely with the palette that we've already got here. But they're different enough that this will really stand out and be a lovely feature for us on the island. So I'm thinking this is about right because they don't need to be too big. They're going to be super tall, and that means we're going to be using lots of blocks anyway. And typically you would find multiple of them together. So this is nice from a building perspective because we only need to build it, well, design it once and then we can build it twice. So if we look at how that might extend out to a second one, we definitely could be looking at maybe 1 block gap with maybe a brick wall here. And then we could have the second bit coming out like this. Although I think I might squish them closer together than that. So just have them touching like this. And then we'll have the overall footprint for the build just about come to the edge here. And I think that will be just fine considering the existing size of the island. Yeah, so as we come up here, we'll just have 2 big towers looking up that way. So the front half of the left-hand roof is done, and what I've seen now that I'm sort of building up how they're going to link together, and oh my goodness, where did you come from, Mr. Decayed? Sounds like the traveling merchant was under attack there too. Well, what I'm finding here is that because they're this close together, the roofs meet in the middle, whereas in all the examples I can see, the roofs meet, they touch at the bottom. So I either need to do a flatter roof or I need to move the second tower. So I think that might be the better approach, is I just take down one side because I'm quite pleased with this part, and I just move this maybe 2 blocks over. So where the roofs would be meeting ideally is there'd be an air gap there, and then there'd be 1 block. So that's the gap, and then we'd have that, and then the wall, the next wall of this one is going to be here. So that's, compared to the scale of these towers, that's quite a big gap when I want these almost visually to be touching. So the other way that we could get this to work, and it would mean going back to the drawing board a little bit here, is we could make the towers themselves a little bit bulkier, so more stout, and then a little bit taller. So I might just also tear down this tower, and we can sort of think about how we can do this without using too many blocks. Aha, I think I've worked it out. So I'm going to go ahead and make 3 Oast houses, and they're going to be in a little cluster like this because we just had enough space to make 3 here. Having 2 was like, yeah, we could have 2, but 3 is a real statement, and we're gonna have to move some things around. We're gonna have to change the shape of the cliffs around the back of the island, but I think this is going to be the best looking solution in the long run. So now that we've got the layout, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the first one in its entirety. I'm not going to make the same mistakes of the past, and then we can replicate the changes to the other 2. onto the roof already. I've put in the floor, I've put in some bigger windows, and what I think is going to make the biggest difference here between the last build and this one is we're going to go straight up. And I like to leave an overhang with my roofs. You can see pretty much everything if you go back in time on my channel as well. You can see I always do an overhang. But with the Oast houses, it's not really an overhanging roof. It just comes out as far as the wall and no more. And what I'm hoping is with the depth here with the window, that we'll be able to sort of see a tiny bit of overhang, and that will just give us the shape there that we need. I'm also going one block lower than I think, and that's just to make sure that we've got that overhang in place. So for this time, we might want to come up 3 blocks. I don't know. We also could shape it a little bit better. So we could do something like that, and then we could have parts coming out at different heights on different levels. It's going to be a bit more interesting to shape this because we've got more blocks and more room to work with. So what I'm thinking is on these guys then, fill those in, we would have a little bit of a situation like this, where we've got blocks coming up, and then the next row will start just tucked in like that, where we'll have this coming up, and then we'll be able to shape this all a little bit more interestingly than before. And let's hop down and take a look at the height of the roof and the general shape. So that's very good. I'm very pleased with that. And it doesn't look weird from this perspective. Let's look from this side. We might need to go a bit further away, although we won't be looking at it so much. Yeah, and you can barely see the fact that that's sloped up like that. But even this little lip, ooh, this has worked out just fine. Okay, I'm going to work around and finish that pattern off for the whole roof, and then we'll put the wind vane on top. I'm very happy with this. It's quite a good looking shape, really. It's the right kind of gradient, and once we put the cherry on top, so to speak, only problem is it's not very easy to get up there because of the shape. So let's just go ahead and fly, why don't we? I know we could take the bee, but yeah, I always forget that we can take the bee. So what this is going to have to do is it's going to go like so. I think we can still go the same way. Yeah, so we'll leave that side. We'll go like this, and then we go up like that. And let me just fill in the middle bits. And then again, we'll go up like that. Yeah, and this is roughly the shape we want. And then that's going to come out too. And we've got our wind vane. Looks good. Looks good. I don't know if I want to make it taller. They are kind of like a, yeah, like a spike. Okay, yeah, I will make it taller just to see what it looks like. And if it's bad, we can change it back. Quite cheap. Where's my bee? Barry. Pro bee skills right here. All right, Barry. Okay, you just stay there. And I will see how this looks. So if we go up like so, and then where's my stairs? Yeah. And then go up like so, and then like that. Ooh. Ooh, I can already tell this is going to be good. And then what if, and bear with me here, what if these also came up like this? Is this going to be weird? I don't think it's weird. This could be a breakthrough in building Oast houses in Minecraft. I don't know anyone who's I've never seen anyone build one of these before. And then yeah, that little back bit might be fine. Okay, Barry, you stay up there and we'll go down here. That's perfect. It needs to be one block further over to the right, I think. Maybe no, it just looks like it's balancing on top. Okay. Again, gonna have to go work on this one. All right. I think I worked it out. It's not gonna be overhanging, but it's also a little bit tilted. So it's got to look like it's bending backwards a little bit. So I think this is what we're going to go with. And it's quite tall, but because we've smoothed out this back bit and made it actually look like it would catch the wind like a sail a little bit, I think this is perfect. So I'm going to stick with it. And now we've got the challenge of going away and gathering all of the nether brick, all of the regular brick needed to round out this build. And then we can get to decorating, which I'm so excited to do. So let's get cracking with that. You never know how something's going to look until you've actually built it. This is going to be so cool. Once the roofs are going to be up and everything's sort of overlapping and interlocking, yeah, that's going to really fill out this area. And I'm going to be so happy to see it done. And we actually had only 6 bricks surplus once we finished this brick bit off, and I have finished the interiors on all of them. Well, at least the framework interior on all of them. We do need to go get a lot of nether brick though, so I better get started. This is all we have left. I took out one of the legs of the nether fortress. That didn't take long at all, and I got tons of nether bricks. So now it's time to speed build the rest of the roof. Ooh, that didn't take long at all. And look, we've got 3 identical roofs, but they're all slightly offset. This is so cool. Now, I think this is going to be the trickiest bit to build. Oh, I think I built the wrong stairs. Let me just go grab some more blocks here. Just a sec. We might as well take a look while we're on the ground here. I think it needs to be daytime, otherwise the effect is lost. Oh yeah. This is good. This is good. This whole division is much better than last time. And yeah, just looking over here. Yeah, this looks very cool. And once we've got the peaks on, it'll be even more well defined. So let's check out how that looks once we get all that on. Okay, now we can go. Barry, let's go. You can be my honorary ride for looking at the Oast house build. Whoa! And we left the scaffolding on it, but that's so cool. Look at those. That's fantastic. And it, looking at my picture, they're pretty realistic when it comes to what these look like in real life. Oh, sorry, Barry. I did not mean to hurt you. Don't leave. Did you land on the fire? Yeah, I understand. It's always a hard life for a bee. Anyway, we'll get rid of the scaffolding and then we'll have a proper look and do some decorating. Now, this is a nice angle to look at it from. So they're all sort of offset from each other. It makes it look quite organic. You know, like the rest of the area here is very much cobbled together. And these, because they're not in a straight line, I think we've made the right choice there. I still need to put doors on. I need to do the interior. So I'm going to get started with some of that stuff and maybe do some terraforming around the sides too. So plenty more to do to finish out the episode today. Next day in real life here, and I've made some really nice progress on the exterior and the interior of one of the Oast houses. Let's take a look. So in here we've got some farmers kind of house where everything is themed around produce and things that you can grow. So we've got crates of wheat seeds, apples, we've got some mushrooms and red things, a compost bin, which shut the lid on because that smells gross, and a little clock and a sink to wash our hands after a long day working the fields. And then upstairs, maybe farmer likes to read a little bit, study on good practices for looking after his crops, and he's looking out of the window onto the stable. So a nice little cozy build here. Even has a lantern coming down from the ceiling, which I quite like. And I wanted to keep the ceiling open like this so you could see up into the roof. I'm not sure what's in here in real life, but some of these you'd find converted into an actual house now, but maybe with an extension built onto it rather than actually living in the Oast house itself. But I'm a fan of this. Now, each of these, my inspiration for the interiors was to pick a different profession for each one. So the second one, and you can see I've started to decorate the outside as well, is the fisherman. So we've got some crates of cod and salmon, and then on the inside we're going to have this nice, it almost looks like a pier up there, and we're going to fill it with things that you might expect a fisherman to have in his house. So we've got an anchor, that was the first thing I thought of. In here, instead of the spiral staircase, we've got this little ledge where we'll put the bedroom. And of course it's raining when I'm recording, but I'm going to decorate this one, and we'll come back in a second. Let's take a look at our fisherman's house. So straight away when you come in the door, you can see the first thing the fisherman wants to do when he brings home his catch is clean up the fish. He's got some mess that's been created from that process. Got the chopping board and then the sink to wash all the fish up in, and then he can put those into the crates. Not really a much of a decorator. He's got some old bits of rope hanging from the ceiling, and is able to just tuck up at night. But really, the fisherman prefers to be out in the sea where he can catch his fish. So the house is really just a way of cleaning up what he's got, and doesn't want to spend too much time in there, hence the sparsely decorated style. We're coming on to the last house now, so I think we're going to go ahead and do maybe a more scholarly build. So we've had the two sort of, we've got someone who works the land, someone who works the sea, and now someone who works their brain. So we're going to do the final Oast house around maybe I think in the Minecraft world, this would be somewhat of a magician. So we're going to be maybe doing some bookshelves, certainly some cobwebs, and maybe some enchanted books and armor stands. So let's see how that looks. I'm really starting to like these. So last one of the day, we've got our wizard's house, but not everyone knows they're a wizard. So in here, you've just got your normal living room. Someone's an avid reader. They like to drink coffee and have guests over for dinner. But only beknownst to them, if they teleport up to the attic, they have their wizard's lair, where they're growing netherwort for making potions. They've got some mining operation going on secretly where they're gathering lapis to do enchantments, and really under the surface they're practicing dark magic. So to the outside world this all looks normal and above board, but then when you go into the attic it's a bit nastier. They let the cobwebs grow and all of that. Cobwebs don't grow, spiders make them, but yeah, you know what I mean. So I think I just have some last finishing touches to do on the outside, and then we can call the Oast house build good. Well, ain't she a beauty? The island is looking really good now. I have been going around removing a lot of torches apart from where they mark entrances, because I feel like that's where you would want to keep your torches in real life. And yeah, everywhere else, like on the side of the buildings, I'm trying to make this look a lot more moody at night. I don't think it's moody, I think it looks cozy, but when you can see the light coming in from the windows, it's really quite pleasant, and I'm so pleased with how these builds came out. In terms of the final steps here, I replaced the grass here with some crazy paving. I think that looks good, and it's also similar to what I've used over there by the main house. I've added this awning to the wizard house and some rose bushes. I had to go fly around to look for those, and I'm really pleased with how this is looking. Another thing that I've been doing in the background this episode is I have the Undercity. I don't know if there's a better word for that. This is basically where I'm going to be putting all the nasty stuff like wiring and hoppers and things to route items around. And this actually goes up into the farmhouse to a terminal, which you probably saw earlier, but I forgot to point out. And this is what I've been using to craft all of my furniture for the various houses. And using Adorn, I really love it. It just gives you much needed combination blocks like these kitchen counters, the tables. These are things that you could make with vanilla blocks, but they're a lot more believable and use the same textures as vanilla, but the shape is much better and they're even functional, which I find amazing. So super pleased with how these came out today, and I hope you enjoyed watching me build them. It's been a real fun project to work on. So that's going to be it from me today. A little bit of a shorter episode, but really fun as always, building with mods and getting to decorate and things like that. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like. And if you want to see more like this from me in the future, why not consider subscribing? That's it from me. So have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.